Hi, gorgeous seekers. Welcome to Moon Magic. I am so excited to talk about this Taurus full moon. I had to sit out here with the gorgeous fall leaves, and the sun is changing very quickly, so we will hope my lighting doesn't go completely bonkers. I love to do these things outside when I can. So, here we are. We are now in Venus retrograde, and I tell you what, this first week has been already so enlightening, with where I think we all felt we were ready for things, and we're like, yes, I'm ready for this, let's get it moving, and then you realize that there's still more incorporating to do, there's still more prep work to do, there's still more that you can enjoy within yourself before you even get to the next stage. And you might be experiencing some of the previews of that next stage and yet feeling a little bit of resistance or even nervousness about it because you're not quite ready, and that is great. So sit with that. Things are shaking up. The landscape is changing like minute by minute. I swear, like every day, I really do see like a different landscape every day around me in the process. And I think a lot of you probably are too. And we're kind of just going to have to ride along with that flow. And this full moon is smack dab in the center of the Venus retrograde. And of course, it's a Taurus full moon, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So that energy, this Venusian energy, is so strong for this full moon. And I think that the poetry there is just so amazing because we have a full moon there. We have this Venus retrograde opposing the full moon. It's all Venus-based. We're really looking at allowing ourselves to believe we are worthy of what we want. Allowing ourselves to believe we are worthy of these hopes and dreams. Allowing ourselves to fully embrace and accept and relax into it and not be so pushy and so hard on it. And honestly, this full moon is going to demand a conversation between your desire to control and master and push forward, and your ability to just allow the dreaming and the wanting and the expecting. And there is a fine line between those two. It's very easy to start off in this expectation energy of like, I'm so excited, this is so great, and suddenly to find yourself within 10 minutes of thinking through it in a very controlling desire to manifest via determination kind of energy. And whenever we get into that headspace, it starts to feel really uncomfortable and even a little bit disheartening at times. So this is what this full moon is going to be working with us, because this is happening on October 24th. We'll have just hit into Scorpio season at this point. It's going to be at 1 degree of Taurus. So we'll have the moon at 1 degree of Taurus. We'll have the sun at 1 degree of Scorpio. We have Uranus at 0 degrees of Taurus, so conjunct. And that is really the major aspect going on here. You know, Uranus wants to shake everything up, wants to add an element of excitement and surprise. So this is an active full moon. There are active components moving around. There's a lot of energy wanting to get things moving, shuffled around. And, you know, full moons are quite high energy. That's part of the deal with full moons, is they are there to kind of illuminate and get things shifted around. This specific full moon is really like that. It has a little bit of that unexpected quality to it. But here's the thing, when you have a moon that is so close to the edge of a sign like that, we are having a moment of breaking away from an old way. And really symbolically, when you have these earlier late placements, you are in a sign like 29-0 or 1 degree, you are being asked to close out an energetic cycle and welcome in a new one. I want to turn this a little bit because the sun is just, that didn't help, did it? Okay. We're going to stick with that for now. Where was I? Are you guys going to ride with me with this insane sun behind me? I hope so. So yeah, we're being asked to really look at how we've done things. This is really truly the heart of the Venus retrograde. And if you watch my Venus retrograde video, you'll know that I said that this is a closeout of a way we've been doing things for a number of years and the opening up to what we want to do next. So for those of you who are feeling already that sense of opening to the next phase of your life, to the next iteration of your life, you may be finding that those moving parts are coming in and speaking to you, and you're having conversations, and you're having opening ups, and you're having this kind of invitation and welcome mat to those energies. And then the key with that is to not get too freaked out by it. I think it can be really scary when what you want starts to arrive, and I think it could almost feel like overload at times, because it's kind of unexpected. It kind of coalesces very quickly with this full moon energy. Match that with the fact that we still have Saturn in Capricorn at 4 degrees of Capricorn. That's doing a really nice trine with Venus at 4 degrees of Scorpio. That is good. That is good. That is balanced, centered energy, right? That's where we can utilize this more surprising element of the Uranus action to maybe think about the grounded, practical approach. So there is a tempering going on there between the wildness of that full moon electricity beaming down on us all and that kind of grounded, quieter internal mechanism working with Venus at Scorpio and Saturn in Capricorn, making that perfect trine. Or sextile, actually. It's a sextile. Even better. So yeah, there is this desire things are getting shaken up here. And because we're at the core of this retrograde, it's like, it's time to face up to the music. Where are you limiting? Where are you pushing away? Where are you hiding? And where are you doing it when it's really something that you actually want? The opposite can be true. Where are you pushing too hard? Where are you trying to control too much? Where are you trying to assert your willpower over a situation because you want it? You know, there are two mechanisms that we often rely on. One is to check out and just be like, I don't want to deal with it. I feel too vulnerable. The other is to try and control it. And both of those feel a little bit hollow in the long run. Both of those feel a little bit like they don't really make you feel that you're connected, right? So you might find that this full moon triggers your fight or flight mechanism a little bit, because whatever is getting revealed to you in this moon is going to be something that you really want. It's going to be something that you really want. It's going to be something that you're really passionate about. It's going to be something that maybe you didn't even realize the full extent of which you wanted it, and it will be hitting you hard. And that is sometimes really alarming. And what it often does is it illuminates our defense mechanisms. It illuminates where we have put up very efficient and often quite skillful little scaffoldings around us so that we don't get hurt by our dreaming and our vision and by what we feel and know at a gut level. So as always with full moons, I always say, try to give the analytical mind a break and really listen to your gut instinct. Great time to check in with that. The other thing I wanted to mention is there's virtually no fire in the sky at this time. The only thing in a fire sign is the north node of the moon, finishing up that transit. So this is a very earth and water-based moon, which means we are looking at two aspects. One, the intuitive, right? The depth of emotional intuitive knowledge, especially with all the Scorpio energy going on. We are really working with the soul sleuths of the zodiac, and they are very good. That energy is very good at digging through the feeling and the intuitive side of an experience. And then we have this Taurus energy, which is all about the grounded, receptive, feminine, divine principle of welcoming in the love and the opportunity that is being offered up to you. In our ability to open up to the opportunities and to the abundance, whatever that form may take for you personally, it might seem like a very passive act to be accepting of it. But I find that when people are in flow and when they're feeling accepting of the love they want, or the excitement or the experience they want, the actions and the way that people feeling that deserving nature, they take actions that make sense in their life. They take actions that flow with things. They take actions that feel good. They speak what they need to speak. They set the boundaries they need to set. They open up where they need to open up. They take risks that actually are quite good for them, right? So we're looking at that. We're looking at that. We're looking at that self-worth, and that will never not be a project in this life. 10 of Wands. This full moon is very much a closeout. You know, symbolically, when you have a 1-degree moon like this, and we have this Venus retrograde happening at the same time, and as we've had all these shifts and all these retrogrades, 2018 has really been a closeout year. We have to close out how we used to do things. There is a welcome mat here for the next phase. And, you know, I say that a lot. I've been saying that a lot. You know, moon cycles are always about opening up, closing out, opening up, closing out, opening up. And we're always doing that. We're always cycling through. But sometimes there's a much larger arc with all of this, where we've been preparing on a much larger scale than we could have even seen like a year ago right now as we were working through things. We couldn't have even seen how the pieces were working together. Definitely not 5 years ago. We wouldn't have even known how these pieces were lining up for us to give us something, an experience of something that maybe we didn't realize. 10 of Swords. Wow. Maybe we didn't even realize we wanted, right, at that time. The unfolding is so large. This is big stuff. And so in some ways you might find this moon isn't so much about pieces moving around on the more micro scale, where it's like, oh, I got that phone call today, or I got that offer. It might be more of like a feeling of energetically closing out, mentally shifting the pieces around a little bit. It may be a little bit more subtle than you realize, that you can put something down that's maybe you've outgrown, maybe is a part of your past and who you once were, which you no longer are. And that's where we have to commit to the next level. Because there is a key point when you have this energy where you can commit to the pain of it and the loss of it and the trauma of it, anything in your past that might be coming up with this full moon. Or you can commit to fully going through this doorway into the next phase. 9 of Swords. Wow. I'm going to pull one more. What's really interesting about these cards and what's coming out today is that fine line that I was talking about. There's something about this Uranus energy with the moon and the fact that we have so much Taurus and Scorpio energy that it's like it's triggering. And it's causing this thing to happen where you may start off feeling really hopeful and buoyant. And I think there's a lot of hopeful, exciting, electrical, sexy energy here. You know, 3 of Pentacles. Wow. There you go. Building something. There's a lot of electrical, sexy energy there. It's very powerful. It's very good for like opening up some new doors as far as excitement and electricity and connection and depth of feeling and hope and dreaming. I mean, this is a great moon to connect with other people for sure. But there's that fine line between that whole phase of it and then just wanting to like take it and mold it and control it. And I think all of these energies right here are speaking to that. That it's such a powerful moon, and there's so much energy behind it, and there's so much symbolism with the longer energetic arcs that people have been going through, that it may be really tempting to just want to overtake it. But we kind of have to roll with it a little bit. We have to kind of have self-trust here, because look at this other side of this. The much quieter, much subtler, much slower energy is this 3 of Pentacles. And this is energy of cooperation, of creation, of co-creation, of finding people who get you and flow with you. But I tell you what, you will not be able to see these people or appreciate the connection you have with them if you stick with this energy here. So this is a huge invitation not to let the electrical intensity of this moon suck you into old ways, because it's triggering. Because it's triggering, because it's scary, because you could just go back here and at least you know how to do this. At least you know how to be hurt and be lost and feel less than love. At least you know how to obsess. At least you know what the rules are for this way of being. But there is a huge invitation saying, but there is this other way, and it just looks and feels different. You feel supported, you feel clear, you feel that you are understood and you are seen. You feel that like your message and your vision is getting through in a way that makes sense, and that you don't have to mastermind it, that you don't have to control and analyze. None of the people in this picture and in the Three of Pentacles energy are trying to control the situation. They're each just bringing their full cup to the story and finding out that these cups all have pieces that work together, and that no one person has to be holding the reins and trying to control and manipulate the situation. And I just, we've talked about this a lot, that energy and how it works together, but this is just one of those moons where you may find it to be a really, really strong desire, because you're going to get so excited, you're going to get so amped up about what's next, you're going to get so amped up about how the pieces are coming together, and you're going to start to really feel it. There's just going to be such a temptation. It's almost like an addiction to the next stage of that. Oh, okay, now I have all these pieces. Like, let's just start making it happen right now. I tell you what, this is just a preview. We still have a few weeks left of this Venus retrograde. We still have some work to do. We still have some molding to do at the end of this year. I guarantee you that whatever you're going to be visualizing and experiencing, that's just starting on the October 24th with this full moon, is not going to come to fruition until next year. Almost certainly. Maybe some of you will. Some of you have different energy and different arcs, but a lot of you are not going to be feeling the full effects of this until at least Sag season, when we have a little more fire in the air and we have a little bit of different movement going on. So I'm going to close it out there. This has been a really interesting one to film. As always, it's always a story. I was not planning on doing it right this second, but then I just was obsessed with this tree and this sunlight, and suddenly I was here doing it. And so I feel a little frazzled. I feel a little wild. The messages and the energies and everything that's been going on in my life have been kind of crazy. There's a lot of electricity and tension in the air. I've been noticing when people are a little bit like scattered and not very good at walking normally or acting normally. Communication is a little funny right now, so hopefully you've ridden through with me on my perhaps slightly frazzled state today. Maybe this is already affecting me. We're pretty far out from the moon when I'm filming this, but I hope that you have a beautiful full moon full of sexy excitement. I mean, Venus in Scorpio, that's some really powerful stuff. The Scorpio-Taurus axis is really intense because it's the birth-death axis. It's the birth-death polarity. And there's so much symbolism there about putting to rest who you've been in the past and just opening up to who you're going to be next, and committing to that vision and committing to the flow and saying, yes, I'm allowed to be a part of this vision. I love you guys so much. I'm going to leave all of my info in the description box. If you're interested in the Venus retrograde, I'll leave the link for that video below, as well as the Vimeo toolkit for those of you who maybe are wondering what's going on with your energy right now this month. If you haven't checked those out, those are on Vimeo, and you can get a little toolkit for your sign. A lot of people have been asking me if they should watch there's a bee hanging out with me now, you see him? A lot of people have been asking me if they should watch their rising or their moon or their sun. As far as house placements, the rising is going to be the most specific and the most specifically geared toward what you're experiencing. But sometimes people connect more with their sun sign or their rising sign or their moon sign, and I really would suggest following your gut instinct for which of those energies you really are relating to right now in your life, which one you feel like is directing the show a little bit more strongly, and go with that. But trust your gut instinct with it, because I find that there's so much flexibility in this energetic toolkit that we have. And it's really not about putting everything in a box and saying, oh, well, because you're this sign, this is exactly how you're going to be feeling. You may just really be living via your rising sign, or you may be really influenced by your moon sign. You were born in the middle of the night on a full moon, and your moon sign is huge for you. So trust all of that. I will leave all of that in the description box along with PinkLune's good goodies, and I'll see you all for the next moon magic and for the November readings, because oh my gosh, life is wild right now, guys. Life is wild. I will be back in the US by November, which is crazy to think about. And I just cannot wait to see where this road takes us all. It is just going to be so interesting. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon.